carb cleaner. Thank goodness for YouTube. It is blazing hot today. It is what, the 19th of October, and it's got to be 80, 85 degrees. What is that, 25? Close to 30 Celsius. That is crazy. I'm working on the Mercedes. I put a new air filter in, and the videos on YouTube said, and my fans and subscribers that commented said the EGR tube could be blocked, which is why my EGR code is on. So I removed this from the back of the engine, and it's kind of hard to snake it out of there. It does not give up easily. And the outside of the tube has a little bit of slime on it, but the inside doesn't have much slime at all. Let's see if we can get this in the shade. I don't know where the sensor is, but suffice to say there's nothing on the inside. There's nothing of any consequence on the inside. As a matter of fact, I'd have to say the outside has as much as the inside. There's some crud on the inside, but not much. I'm going to spray it with some carb cleaner in a minute. But, now was it Mercedes Source that told me this? I watched the video on EGR problems, and they said, well, you check. His EGR was on the front of the engine. This is a fuel pressure regulator, I believe. Little did I know about these things. I don't even know what it is. What are those? Denso, made in Japan. Meow. Meow. Anyhow, are these fuel pressure or exhaust? They run into the top of the cylinder head. I don't even know what they are. Come on, focus. There's the EGR in any case, back here. The tube screws on there. Come on, there we go. And then the tube goes into the intake manifold right there. And it was a challenge to get it out of there. And I pulled off the vacuum hose over there, somewhere. I pulled off a vacuum hose that runs to the interior. That one right there. Right there. I pulled that one off, and that sends vacuum to the interior. Presumably I pulled it off because the air conditioning seems to work properly. The doors open and close. So I did have to snake out where did I put it now? It's gone. I did have to snake out my EGR. It's gone. I lost it. Come on. Where did I put the stinking? Here it is, right here. You have to, it installs like this, but you have to snake it. So I'm going to spray it with some cleaner. But. So, getting back to the video said, check your vacuum hoses. So, I'm dragging this out as long as possible. There's a bunch of vacuum hoses on the EGR valve. There's one that goes there, and there's one that goes underneath, over there somewhere, and there's one that runs between somewhere. I forget where. Anyhow, it is junk. Look at that. Come on, here, look at that. Cracked. Dry, rotted, and cracked. Oh man, this focus is a pain. And this one went. There we go, from the bottom of the EGR. See, there's the top hose. See that little nipple? And it ran to, it runs from there to there, right below, right there. Runs to, come on, where's my finger? It's tricky with this camera. Instead of using a camera, I'm using a phone. right to there. Runs from there to there. So I went onto my neighbor's G30 van, remember that one? With the broken door hinge. I fixed that last year. And I stole a piece of vacuum hose. Nice made in USA vacuum hose from my German Achtung car. So I'll stick this on right there. I just joined the Buick forum and they're discussing Buick things. And I've got a nailhead Buick, last used in '66. Some guy's got one in England. He had a tap in the motor, took it apart 3 times till he realized his pistons were touching his head. Anyhow, they had a guy that put a nailhead in a '65 Mercedes. There's a guy that put one in a Jaguar, a nailhead. Just stopped using that motor in '66. Just put a small block Chevy or a small block Ford, and nope, nailhead. I'm going to put this on pause for a second. This is frustrating. Can't get in there. Alright, luckily the thing stays on pause for a long time. This just took me a few seconds to thread that hose in. I should have cut it a bit longer. I cut it exactly the same as the old one, but it's on. It is on. I'm going to spray a bit of cleaner where the intake manifold pipe goes on. I'm going to put my intake hose back on, and it wasn't bolted on where it was supposed to be bolted on. I bolted onto the intake manifold, stopped it from moving. Meow. 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 Beautiful sunny day. Too bad it's going to be freezing in a couple days. Nice to have a tripod, I suppose. I could grip camera. There. Where am I? Whoop. Clean her up, make everything nice and shiny, and hopefully my EGR light will go off. I'll have it reset actually at my friend's shop with his snap-on Solus computer. And what computer do I get from my Mercedes? Plug-in EGR computer, reader, scanner, whatever you call it. I call everything a computer. I'm one of those old folks. That computer crap. It's pretty much what it is. I had my phone reset. When I got a new replacement phone, which was a reconditioned phone, and Verizon charged me for not bringing back the old one, and most of my contacts are gone. Again, they're there, but we gotta find them. These phones, I tell you, you have a heart attack every time you touch something on them. Things disappear. Went to get my inspection done, no contact, gone. Went to call my divorce attorney, no contact, gone. Search for text messages, gone. But it was there, just didn't have his name on it. So that's what we're doing. I'll put you on pause for a minute. I'm boring you to death. It's not like we're driving through the Adirondacks with the beautiful leaves while I work in my Mercedes. Achtung! With this crazy sun shining like mad on this mid-October, late October day. What have I been doing? I've been spraying. Doing this against my cracked headlight housing. Tripod, baby. I've been spraying and sloshing this around, and I really should have a pipe cleaner. This was definitely not clogged. Definitely not clogged. Yeah, it's running clear. We'll have a new gasket, but this one looks 100% intact. Now, the fun part is, which way is up on this camera? Oops. Oh, look at that. The timer turns. It's amazing how one tissue can be enough to clean so many things. Don't spray it in your eyes. I didn't bring enough cleaner, that's my neighbor's. So now we can put that tube back in, which goes right over there. Not much stuff in there. Got this hose off. Which way did this go now? Plastic, rubber, fragile. Things break. You wish you wouldn't have touched it. There it goes. Got to put it in with the nut pointing down. That's the trick. And I did not have my Torx socket set with me, but you don't need one because number 5/16 works perfectly. Where is it? 5/16 works perfectly. Yep, nice fit. Funny to use a standard 10mm bolt to assemble the body parts, the rad support. When it comes to engine parts, I use these reverse Torx, just like on the Roadmaster. So that's how you do this job on a 1999 E320 V6, which I think 99 was the first year for the V6. They had an inline 6. The mechanic I went to see with the Solus scanner had a 99 wagon. Oh no, it was a 4-door. And I forgot to get some parts off of it. My bad. I just didn't get around to it. Drove by it 100 times. I wonder if I should put a drop of oil on these threads. Good night. Good night. A little bit of burned transmission oil maybe. tripod is definitely called for. Oh, transmission fluid. Hard to get to. Let's try this. Drop a used engine oil, which is due for a change. Is it better to put oil in the threads? Clog the threads? Get a altered torque reading, or just tighten the heck out of it till the bolt breaks in the aluminum and then duct tape it on or tie wrap it on? To get some transmission oil out of this, I gotta unwrap my oil dipstick tube that I bought on eBay for $10 delivered. I was looking on Palm Springs Craigslist last night. There's a beautiful 2003 CLK 430 V8 Mercedes convertible. Nice black one, triple black. Black leather, black, looks like a cloth top. Salvage title, 150,000 miles, 250,000 kilometers. $3,300 with a salvage title, whatever that means. You know what salvage title means. It means you don't know where it came from unless the present owner can tell you why it's a salvage title. $3,300. But I'm not going to Palm Springs this year. No money, other issues. Too bad, so sad. And there's a 65 Electra at a junkyard in Boise, Idaho with my name on it. Kills me. Can't buy them all. How tight. That should do it. Now, where'd this hose go? Who knows? Give me a minute. I'll slap her back together. This is not simple. You gotta jiggle this air intake on the back of the engine from the bottom first, and then you've got a rubber tube here with a plastic tube and a rubber tube that's got to be squeezed on right there, and it goes on quite a ways. Make sure that's seated. Then you have a rubber hose way on the bottom, which I can't even show you, right there. That hose there has to be pushed onto that nipple of the tube, and then this has got to be put on here. Don't forget any of these hoses, because your check engine light will be on nice and bright. Then you've got a bolt that attaches this intake tube to the back of the valve cover behind the dipstick tube. Right there, see it? And right there. And I don't have the bolt. It was not bolted on, so I've got to find a bolt. There's one ground bolt right there I could steal. And there's one right there, a valve cover bolt. It's probably not quite the right one. It's probably got a washer crimped onto it. So I need a valve cover or fuel rail or something bolt off a junk car, or maybe the one off the car in your junkyard, the Mercedes that's got my taillight socket that I need, because this is not secured. It's got some clampy thingy over here, but that doesn't do very much. Choo-choo! I'll keep on working on it after I keep banging my head on the hood. Keep on working. I was over at the big barn yesterday in the country, looking at my Suburban getting nibble on by mice. There was a mouse nest in the hood insulation. Oh, God, I hate going there. Tenant hasn't paid his rent in 6 months. Oh, joy. 15 minutes later, I've got this, I guess it's an air silencer. Gets rid of some intake noise. I thought it went over here. I had the arrows lined up, and all of a sudden I realized, oh, there's a couple of receivers over here. You got to snap those on. A bit of silicone spray would make it a lot easier. And even though I'm missing that bolt, I'll survive until I do get another bolt, which I've got over at the other shop around the block where the diesel Suburban just sits, gets nibbled on by mice. So I guess I can crank this baby up, but the check engine light will not go off. I've got to go visit my friend's shop And he's got to reset the light, and then we got to drive it until the computer's happy with whatever computers are happy with. And I've got my brake lamp checker, my genuine Mercedes brake lamp checker. Oh, yeah, there's the beep. So I open up the tailgate, and yeah, that brake light's not on. So I open this compartment up, and here's those spring things that I lost. I just saw them somewhere around here. Yeah, these little things. Those that go on there so the plastic doesn't spread, and I lost a couple of them. See how I epoxied those in place? That one's working, but this one blew up. So I just touched this pink socket right there. Just touch it. Yeah, see, light went on. So maybe it's the grid around the taillight. It uses a grid wiring, metal grid. And I brightened it up, but maybe I'll look at it again. Sometimes you think you do something the first time and you got to redo it. And there's my light bulb. There's actually a mistake in the Rock Auto catalog and Walmart catalog. You need a 2 contact bulb for the tail lamp, stop lamp rather, on the wagon. The sedan must be different, but they don't have a distinction. So I've got one extra, and I just ordered some other extra ones. You go to buy those at the auto parts store, it's $5 for 2 bulbs. You buy them from Rock Auto, and they're 30, 40, 50, 60 cents each. Even the fog lamp at H1 is $1.51. And if you buy enough stuff and you have it shipped from the same location, if you can figure it out, the online mobile app isn't as useful as the full site. The full site allows you to combine shipping with a bit more ease. And I'm able to keep my shipping down to $3, $4 on 10, 15 bucks worth of stuff, so it's a lot cheaper, but you don't get the bulb right away. You get it in 2 or 3 or 4 days. So hopefully this was the problem with the EGR. Hopefully. And buy your parts from Rock Auto, and maybe they'll be nice to me and give me the money back for those crappy KYB shocks that they insist are perfect fit, and they're not. 437,484 miles, 700 and something thousand kilometers, 700, 750. Alrighty, long enough video. Oh, I bought some potato chips. Snyder of something or other. Snyder of Berlin. And they were the worst jalapeno chips. They were so greasy, they were dripping, they were terrible. So I called them up, and their telephone diplomat was, bleh, not my friend. Sent me some coupons, but they don't sell them locally. They sell Snyder's of Hanover here. I need Snyder's of Berlin, so I've got some free coupons for potato chips that I don't like. I don't eat them very often, but boy, they sure are good. The Lay's are the best. No question about it. Just don't buy me any, because they're too greasy and I don't want to put on any weight. See you in a bit.